In the previous video, we saw why the virus theory of disease is such a strongly held belief. It has familiarity. It's usually one of the first ideas we hear to explain disease, and it's repeated very often. There's a single thing that causes the disease in this explanation, i.e. there's an agent. The agent also has an intentionality. The virus intends to get into our cells so that it can multiply. There is belief utility. So the value of believing that viruses cause the disease is that we can then believe in a nice, simple solution for that, such as a vaccine or just avoiding the virus. Rejecting the belief can also come at a cost, especially if your job and livelihood depends on conforming to academic ideas surrounding disease or academic dogmas. We may seek information which confirms our belief. So when we have a disease which is said to be viral in origin, we'll look for reasons why we caught that disease or how we caught it and make up stories to try to fit our beliefs. Belief perseverance bias means that once a belief has been formed, our psychology will do all it can to prevent us from changing that belief. This clearly goes for viruses, as virology has been thoroughly refuted. In this video, we're going to look at the conditions under which beliefs can change and give you a guide to free your friends from the virus delusion. Let's start in 15th century Italy. Powerful families such as the Medici wanted to lend money at interest to boost the economy and obviously increase their own fortunes. But the Catholic Church banned charging interest, and the Medici weren't going to lend money for nothing. The Pope was pretty adamant. The same rules applied to Jews and to Muslims. The Torah and Quran are both explicit in their denouncement of usury, or lending money at interest. Fortunately, someone in Florence spotted a loophole in the Torah in the book of Deuteronomy. Do not charge a fellow Israelite interest, whether on money or food or anything else that may earn interest. You may charge a foreigner interest, but not a fellow Israelite, that the Lord your God may bless you in everything you put your hand to, in the land you are entering to possess. So Jews could charge interest to foreigners, that is Christians or Muslims. Fortunately for the Medici, there were plenty of Jews in Florence. Jews who had been persecuted by the Catholics in Spain found refuge in the friendly city-states of Italy. So the Medici could employ Jews as their moneylenders. Jews were permitted to open banks and lend at interest to Italian farmers and merchants. Farmers could lend money at the start of the growing season, giving them better seeds than their competitors, getting better animals from donkeying, and helping them to hire workers. The banks also took advanced payments for crops from buyers at stock markets. The Italian city-states, such as Florence and Venice, boomed under this banking system. So we can learn from this that people can change their belief if the new idea is acceptable and there is a benefit to it and not a cost. So in this case, my old belief was right. Usury is a sin, but my new idea is even better. It's not a sin if I employ Jews to charge interest. I won't incur the wrath of the Pope, and I'll make some money. Additionally, we don't want to feel bad about our beliefs. We need to know it was the right thing to believe at the time, given the information that we had. Belief in viruses is not illogical. I mean, we used to think that bacteria caused disease, but some diseases had no bacterial cause. So maybe something like bacteria, but too small for us to see at the time, caused illness. It makes sense. It's just not backed by any scientific evidence. So for us to feel good about changing our opinion, it helps if we go through the thought process ourselves. We won't feel good about accepting someone else's point, because that's like admitting that they're more intelligent than us when we were wrong. But if we feel like we've worked it out for ourselves, we'll feel intelligent, we'll feel good about ourselves, and we'll be more able to change our beliefs and opinions. That's why providing people with information and asking them questions is a better approach than just telling them that they're wrong. As for me, I'd thoroughly believed in the virus hypothesis. I'd been teaching it for decades to trainee nurses and medical professionals. When my friend showed me an Andy Kaufman video, in which Andy Kaufman said there was no coronavirus in around 2020, 2021, I didn't really believe him. But I thought I'd watch the video anyway just to give it a go. And I still didn't believe that there was no viruses. So what I decided to do was have a look for myself. I got hold of the Fan Wu et al. Paper from January 2020, which was the first one to allegedly identify coronavirus as a cause of illness and gene sequence it. And it was obvious that they hadn't identified any virus at all, let alone shown that it was the cause of pneumonia-like illnesses in Wuhan. Um, what I thought was maybe others had better evidence. I employed Knowledge Shield 4 from the belief perseverance bias theory, if you'll remember from the previous video. Maybe Fan Wu et al. Were compromised. Maybe someone who makes money from vaccine sales had paid them $900,000 through a philanthropic foundation to find a deadly virus for which they had a ready-made vaccine. Who knows? I analysed a few other papers and concluded that I was right. There was no evidence that SARS-CoV-2 or the coronavirus exists. Okay, I suppose Kaufman was right too. But mainly it was me and my intelligence who had found this out. And it was my decision to change my mind. So that was how, I allowed myself to change my opinion by coming up with the idea, but feeling like I'd come up with the idea myself. The important point was I'd made the decision to change my mind based on my own thought processes and evidence that I'd looked through. The concept of contagious viruses has no scientific evidence to back it up, but it's widely and strongly held belief. People don't usually give up an old opinion or belief for a new one. A successful belief, such as the virus idea, has strong perseverance bias. It's clear, though, that we can change our minds, and there are factors which will make this more likely. Number one, the new understanding has more value to us than the old belief. Two, we've made the decision to change for ourselves, and we've worked through the reasons in our own mind. Three, we don't feel bad about holding our old belief or opinion. A get out clause can help here. Four, we meet other people who share this new idea. Now, it's not my place to change someone's opinions, and as we've seen earlier, that's pretty much impossible. But I would love more people to see that there are no viruses. The benefits to health are avoiding toxic vaccines and antivirals, and understanding that health is achieved through good diet and healthy living, and also not stressing about catching something. Also, it would be great if we could stop buying drugs, which hands a fortune to billionaires and pharmaceutical companies. So, what can we do? It's important that we spend our time and energy wisely, and this involves sharing our understanding with the right people. It's difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Trying to explain the virus delusion to virologists, doctors, teachers, researchers, and billionaire philanthropists is usually pointless. As I explain in another video, for over a century, these people have been in a symbiotic relationship with corporate capitalists. Their contribution supports corporate capitalism, and they're rewarded for what they do with salaries, grants, and status. You may have found out, or you may have seen through other people, that clear explanations of why virology does not provide scientific evidence for viruses are usually very ineffective. So try this instead. If you know someone who you think might break free from the virus dogma, follow this ABC. A, agree. B, build. And C, crush. Start off by agreeing about something with the person that you may be in contact with who you think can change their ideas about viruses. It doesn't really matter what it is, just let them know that you think they're right about something. Build their confidence. Compliment them on the way in which they've acquired knowledge or about their thought processes, even if it's about their ideas about virology or contagion. Find something that you can compliment them on. Let them know they're smart and capable of complex analytical thought. Ask them questions about their understanding and let them know it makes sense to think that, given the information. crush their trust in the people and institutions who furnished them with the dubious dogmas about viruses and contagions in the first place. They will be able to generate a new understanding about disease after they've dismantled their old belief. And the best approach is not to attack their belief or opinions, but to get them to question the motives or ability of the people who they believed in, or organisations for that matter. Remember, belief in viruses is not based on scientific information, but on trust in the authority of the figures who say viruses exist and cause disease. It's better to plant seeds here, direct them to information which they can digest for themselves, rather than outright tell them that virologists are unscientific, or billionaires make lots of money from the idea of viruses and contagion. You can link virology to dubious characters like Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci, or David Rockefeller, showing how the idea of viruses and contagion helps them to make money. Or how about corporations such as Pfizer, who have been fined billions of dollars worth for negligence and damages over the decades? And this won't be a quick process. It's one which your friends will have to think over themselves, and ultimately, most people you meet just won't see enough value in changing their opinion, and will be too busy with other things, like watching American Gladiators. For resources showing how organisations and individuals who profit from the virus delusion are not to be trusted, and to crush confidence in those people, head on over to the Citizen Science website. There's plenty of other resources which help to destroy the virus myth, and there's a dedicated community forum on the website, so it's nice and secure, where you can talk to other people and plan real-world events or online campaigns to help end virology. Thanks for watching.